Hello, and welcome to Tommy Media's The Locker Room. I'm Adam Mueller. St. Thomas sophomore Matt Schraith will compete in the International University Sports Federation Championship Powerlifting Meet in Estonia this July. He qualified with a second-place finish at the University Nationals in March. As a full-time student, Schraith somehow still finds time for world-class training, as you'll see in this story. St. Thomas student Matt Schraith's heavy course load is nothing compared to what he can lift.
Yeah, so my best competition lifts are 584 for squat, 352 for bench, and then 672 for deadlift.
The sophomore qualified for the FISU World University Championship in Estonia in July.
I've not been to Estonia, no. I've not been that far in Eastern Europe, so it'll be, I think the time change is roughly around 9 hours or so.
Schraith sends videos to his coach, Craig Lemieux, who coaches him remotely, and agreed to a remote interview.
So I think I've been working with Matt for a year and a half now. I don't think he's missed one workout ever, and that includes holiday seasons. If you were to look at him, you might not think that he is at this point, world-level powerlifter.
At the University Nationals in March, Schraith deadlifted 672.4 pounds. For reference, that's more than this car engine.
If you have a great community, it propels you a lot in terms of your progress.
Schraith hopes to share that community by starting a powerlifting club at St. Thomas.
Come up to me on campus. If you recognize me, I'm not going to bite or anything. So yeah, hopefully we can get some powerlifters next year and go to a few meets. So.
In St. Paul, for TommyMedia.com, I'm Adam Mueller. Schraith leaves for Estonia on July 20th. Today, he joins me in the locker room to talk about his journey. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Matt, walk me through how it felt when you realized you qualified for the World Championships.
Yeah, it was a pretty surreal experience. I think it was kind of a culmination of everything that I was looking and kind of working towards. And I remember looking at my coach, Craig Lemieux, and we both kind of it was kind of an awe and shock of like, this has finally happened. Everything's, come in place. So it was a really cool moment. It was even better to share it with my coach, considering him and I have, been able to program a lot of stuff and find what really works for me in terms of training, and just knowing that kind of on both ends, the hard work on my end and also the hard work on his end for programming for me just paid off. So.
Yeah, what does a meet day look like for you?
Yeah, so normally you weigh in about 2 hours or so before you start the competition. So I guess it would pretty much depend on whether you're going to be cutting for the weight or if you're kind of maintaining at that weight. I had to cut down into the weight class, so I was just briefly sipping on liquids kind of throughout the day. Normally like a carb sports drink is something you kind of just, your body gets used to throughout the day. After you weigh in, that's when you're getting into this recomp phase of eating and drinking and making sure that you're getting back to that body weight that you would normally be at when you were training, which is what I did. So a lot of it has to, again, do with sports drinks. Powerlifters are known to eat a lot of candy as well too. I think my go-to is usually like Sour Patch Kids. I mean, I grab at least 2 bags of those each day, or each meet day. And yeah, so pretty much with that. And then you have your 9 attempts that you have each day, or on your meet day, 3 for each lift, which is squat, bench, and deadlift. And yeah, I mean, you plan out your openers from there and kind of just see what you're going to project to hit on that day. So.
Yeah, how do you balance your training with just classes and schoolwork?
Yeah, I think that is a pretty underrated part, I guess, in terms of being a student athlete, because I mean that's what I would say I am, even though this isn't a NCAA affiliated sport. But yeah, I think in terms of especially going to the gym and making sure that you're also getting good grades as well, I think it's really important. For me, I'm able to manage my time pretty well in terms of what time that I do have to lift, and making sure that I schedule out enough time that I would think I would need to lift for that day. And making sure, on top of getting homework done, getting all these different assignments done, but also making sure that lifting maintains a priority in my schedule too. I think that's a really big key, because if you don't have it as a priority in your schedule, something that you're going to do on a specific days, it kind of just takes a back burner. And I think what's really helped me is keeping that as a necessity for those days that I do need to lift.
Yeah, what sparked your interest in powerlifting?
Yeah, so it really was with my high school football coach. He wanted us to compete in the winter just to find a way to stay active, and again, just finding different ways to compete throughout the whole year besides football. And over the years, throughout my high school journey, I realized I started to like the off-season training more than the actual football games themselves. And through that, I pretty much, by my junior year, I was like, yeah, I think I really do like figured out what actually powerlifting was as an actual sport that I can just continue to train all the time and not have to play football. And so I ultimately focused more so on the powerlifting side rather than the football. And through that, I was able to, go to different national championships in high school as well, through the USA powerlifting, and ultimately leading to where I'm at now with Powerlifting America and going to Worlds. So. Yeah.
In the video, you touched on the community aspect of powerlifting. Who are some of the people who have helped you along this journey so far?
Ooh. I would definitely say my coach. He's definitely played a big role in terms of what a powerlifting community should and shouldn't be. I think we have very similar ideals in terms of, there can be some people out there that maybe that 1% of, the 99 that are not as nice as people will want you to be. And what it can really do, especially if they're in influential parts of the powerlifting community, can really kind of just bleed through the rest of the community in that way as well too. So making sure that we're keeping ourselves accountable in the community, making sure that we're not just tearing other people down. I mean, again, I was in that same position that person was maybe when they were first beginning. So not just being humble throughout the whole process with that too. But I also think finding a great gym to train at makes a huge difference. Unfortunately, I was able to find a good one with Kilo Strength and Performance here in St. Paul. And with I think the range of lifters that we have there too is really, really beneficial in terms of creating a good community, because we have, high-end lifters who go to these national meets who will probably in the next couple of years end up going to these world meets. But also we have beginners who are just starting to get into powerlifting. And all of these people are treated the same regardless of their skill level, which I think is really great. And making sure that you're, again, kind of fostering this like culture of constantly getting better, regardless of skill level. So,
what are your plans for a potential powerlifting club here at St. Thomas?
Yeah, so hopefully it will be done through Tommy Strength, kind of just as a subset of Tommy Strength, and just looking into the different ways that we can provide maybe a different opportunity for a sport that students here can compete in that wouldn't be a NCAA sport. And then I think what makes it a lot different compared to those other sports is that it is a very individual sport. So you can be very flexible in terms of how you want to manage your schedule, when you want to compete, your goals for those competitions as well too. Is that it really plays a big factor of where your skill level is too, and kind of just setting realistic expectations for X, Y, and Z meets, making sure that you're meeting kind of those necessities of making sure that you're lifting on the days that you need to lift. And with all of that, I would just say that making sure that you have those things in place, and hopefully we can continue to kind of grow this little subset of the club. We already have some students here that just started their first year of powerlifting here, and they've done an exceptional job in terms of their growth. So hopefully we get some more students to join that next year.
Thank you for coming in today, Matt.
Yeah, thank you.
This has been the final show as Tommy Media. Next semester, we will return as The Crest. Follow along on TommyMedia.com and follow us on social media at Tommy Media for more St. Thomas sports coverage. With Matt Schraith, I'm Adam Mueller. We'll see you next fall in The Locker Room.